Saturday morning, and top of the Chevin, looking down at Otley. Armscliff Crag there. River Wharf flows along this valley and out that way. Seen a few planes taken off from the airport just as we were parked on the other side of the road over there. The airport's in that direction. Airport's over there. All the lights are on because it's so gloomy on the runway. Bright lights. So I've been opening this door on the. It's been like having a watery noise, and look what I've actually worked out. It's full of water, and I shook the door, and water was coming out. So water must be sort of getting in and moisture in that, and not draining out the bottom. So I've actually found there's a couple of these little things you can just pull out, and now all the water is draining out of the car door, because otherwise it'll just rust, I think. So this is what's happening here. It's like the car door is full of water, and I've just undone a couple of little seals, these little things here, and water's now pouring out. Yeah. There we go. So we're just opposite here at the Chevin. There's like a clay pigeon shooting place. You can hear the gunfire just behind here. Yeah, look, it's still going. The other day when I was up cleaning the gutters out, what I noticed is that there's a thin bit of, like a strip of wood, which goes along next to the window. You can see where there's like a little screw there. What I had to put in was a bit of Meccano just to run across between the main bit of wood here and the thin strip, because it was like coming away and previous efforts hadn't worked, and it's just a bit of Meccano with a screw at either side has kept it in place, and you can hardly notice it from down here. You can't even see the bit of Meccano up there. And the other one had a tile which had just come away. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'll just show you. So on this corner here there's a gully. See, the trouble is there's a tree in the way for the shot. There's a gully that runs through there. So I'm talking about the centre of the screen. There's a gully where you can see where I reached with the leaves, couldn't reach all the way up. And I don't know if you can see there's like a tile with no moss on. So you can run up the gully, there's green moss, and then suddenly you hit a bit lighter coloured tile. And there, that tile had come away, and there's just a little bit of cement I've just put to hold it in place, and it's still there. So even though there's a bit of rain, it's still in place. I can't zoom in any further, unfortunately. I've checked with the binoculars and it seems okay, but it's too far to reach with your hand, and I had to do it with cement on a hoe to reach in up there. So yeah, that was a couple of repairs I had done. And lots of the things have got clogged up with these seed pods from the lime trees. So I want to keep cleaning the gutters out because they're clogging them up quickly. And what had happened was around the back garage here was incredible amount of clogging up. If the grate that runs along, it's like a drain that runs along the entire length of the garage, to stop any water ingress into the garage, it just traps water. So this grate here, and what happened was I think a lot of thick leaves gone in there and rotten, and there's a filter here which stops the sediment running down into the drains and blocking the drains. This filter here, which just pulls out like that, just pulls out, and that was constantly getting clogged. I was just like pulling with my hands and stuff. It was clogging and clogging and clogging. That much water was coming down. So all this was full And that was overflowing and running down there and filled all this with water. And at that end, it was overflowing. Now, critically, just must be the angle, because this was overflowing, there was that much pouring out. It was just starting to ingress slightly into the garage, just very, very slightly. So I spotted it, and good job I did. And as soon as I was unclogging it, water was just shooting along here fast as anything and going down. But I had to keep unclogging it because there was that much stuff in it. Maybe that was successful, but it was pretty wet when I was doing that. It was absolutely torrential rain coming down when I was doing it. So there's that one. And then the other one was at the front here. See, these drains have got covers and they've got like a little filter on to stop the sediment blocking the pipes. And this one at the front was coming down so fast, and it had leaves and things in it, and bits of the leaves like rot away and things, and it didn't have the capacity. This was overflowing a little bit, and of course that would just meant water was pouring out across here, and some of it was running down a pond in there and all that, running out across here. So I cleared that out as well, and that solved that. But yeah, you just got to keep on top of it with just these seed pods. They go in the gutters, the block bends in gutters, they go into the grates, the block the rotten, and the sediment blocks those, things like that. So yeah. So I mean, in terms of downpipes, I've got one there, just a little corner. That's where I was talking about with the repair of the tile earlier. So I've got one that comes down there, and it's in there. What's that one? To keep an eye, watch out for. There's this one that comes down here, which is from this gutter. That's relatively easy to get to because I cut away some horrible holly trees and things that were blocking my entrance into there. So there's that one there to keep an eye on. And that was blocked just with sediment and overflowing there. So that was a couple of days ago, so I did that. So I've got that one. So that's two. And then around here, it's not too bad because the gutter runs along there, and the same one takes both sides. So that one comes along and that one comes along, but that one just shoots out. You can see it just shoots onto the roof, and I don't like it, so I'm actually going to change it. I'm going to get a bend in this one that takes a lot of area, all that roof and all that roof, drain into that one, come out, shoot out onto this roof, and then fall into that gutter and that downpipe. So that downpipe takes a lot of water because there's a huge area. There's all of that roof, all of that roof, and all of that roof are coming down onto that one downpipe. So I've got that one, and that's relatively easy at the back door to keep clear that out. But this thing that's shooting out, I don't particularly like it shooting out. There's also another one. You can see just a small area, it's a short bit there, with nothing even coming down from it, just goes straight onto the roof. You can see the splash is causing a bit of black stuff on the wall and the bit of wood there, so I don't like that either. So ideally I'd have that coming down, running just a pipe running down and running along the side and feeding into this gutter. So there's two that I want really to feed into there. So I could do this one myself, but that's like in the middle of the roof, that one, so it's a bit difficult. But I might put a bend in there. So anyways, that's 3 downpipes I've got, and obviously there's a conservatory downpipe as well, but that feeds into the same drain. They both go in the same drain there. So I've just got 1, 2, 3 drains. A minute, you can see that take the gutter water. Then there's off the garage roof here, there's this gutter, and that comes down here, but that feeds into this garage thing. So it's the same garage thing, and then there's another gutter, which is just a very, very, well, was originally a short bit of gutter coming into there, but this bit here, that feeds down there. Now I actually added this here, because what was happening was, it's like a couple of years ago, it was coming down and just straight onto the roof, but then it was all dripping over the garage and rotting the wood and all that. So I put this extra bit of pipe in here to feed into there and then down. So there's that one. So that's the 4th drain basically, but several gutters come into there. But again, that's just the thing where it just comes on the roof, and it was expected just to flow along and into that, but it wasn't, because it was flowing along and some of it was flowing sideways and off here. I didn't like that. So it feeds now, it works really well. It just feeds directly into there and down. Then there's a short bit here off this roof here, you can see, and that feeds down there into that one. So that's 5 outlet points or drains. And then there's the one at the front door I showed you earlier, that's 6. I've got 6 of these drains where the gutter takes it off. Now it's actually not that big, that one, because it just takes it off this little bit here, but then it's there's 2 gullies that come in where the triangles meet, that bit there. So it's like that gully and that gully. So it's a reasonable area because it's like wider than you think at the bottom. It feeds out there. So it's a reasonable area there. Anyway, so that's those.